Hello everyone, welcome to another Let's Build It Showcase Breakdown. We are here at the Palm Hills house, and this is issue 2. And this time around, I think we're just going to keep going in the direction, and we are going to look into this beautiful carport here. And I wanted to build something on the property here that, you could park vehicles in. Not necessarily an enclosed garage, and to kind of keep with the architectural design of the house, I figured, one of these older school looking carport, covered area would work nicely and look good and tie in with the rest of the house. I think this episode we'll jump into that and build a carport. Once again, as I explained in the first episode, I jump around quite a bit when I build, so keep in mind that you might see some things in the background pop up and pop off as far as, built, not built. It's going to be kind of crazy, but, doing it this way around, I can focus just on the carport here. Bear with me on this, and what do you say we get started and build a carport? Okay, first off, I wanted to add a grass area around this little parking area just because it's a very clean divide. So we'll do all the grass here like this, and then obviously finish it off with one of those curb pieces. And once again, these curb pieces I really like a lot, mainly because something like this driveway, for example, I think it just smooths out this whole entrance area rather than just hard edges all the time. And that's why I like using these, is because it smooths it out, makes it look a little more realistic too. Because if this was a driveway or even a roadway, more than likely you would probably have a curved area like this rather than just a hard 90-degree angle edge. And then of course, figuring out ways to get this grass to come up to the edges is a little harder to do than it looks with such large block grass pieces. I'll probably have to use like the half section textured flooring. I think there's the same texture grass in that, and they're a little bit smaller and can fit in that tight little angle. So we'll use those. But I think overall, I like the grass and the way it cleans it up, and especially with this nice, perfect grass, it looks really clean. So when I initially built the driveway area with all the parking, or like the turnaround area, scale wise with the size of these giant cars, it would take quite a large area to turn one of those cars around. But I'm thinking this is large enough to give the idea, and not entirely realistic size wise, but I think it'll work. So while building, I used the cars to kind of measure the area or the size of the carport there, and I think I can fit 2 cars here. Not make it too tight, but not make it too large. I don't want to spend a lot of space, a lot of building area on just a carport, but I do want a 2-car carport here. So I think this size works great. Wanted to add in the little wood siding here on these side breeze block type walls, just to break it up, make it a little more interesting and combine more of the textures. So, we got the nice clean white see-through breeze block wall like things here, and then the nice, brown siding, which also ties in with our main front gate, and what also ties in with a lot of the main house. So it kind of ties it all together, just so it looks like all one universal thought process as far as what the house looks like all together. I just think it looks better, and it looks like it has more of a function and more of a base of these walls that are, supporting the roof above. did want to use these metal poles. I wanted to have some kind of more mid-century modern look to it. So enclosing the edges with the white shelves, I guess this is, shelving things. I think these are from the Mad Kia mod. I think it gives it kind of a breeze block style look to it, but not an entirely enclosed wall. And then, as I said, the metal poles I wanted to add in, because that always seems to be kind of a feature that I like on some of the old mid-century modern houses, is, the use of the metal poles just everywhere. So I wanted to do that with this, but I also wanted to tilt them a bit just so it wasn't straight. Give it a little more character and angle. So it's kind of a pain to do with Quappa and getting that angle, because once you set the angle, it rotates around on that axis or on that angle. So it's not like you can pick it up and just move it anywhere. It has to be the correct angle when you place it, I guess is what I'm saying. So it's a little weird to figure out how to use that, and I'm still learning a lot with the Quappa, and it's kind of a pain. But the more you do it, it gets a little easier. I think I'm figuring it out a little more and more. I definitely will be using it more throughout the house to get the angled poles, because I do want to keep the theme going and maybe install some angled poles like this, maybe by the front door, maybe over by the garden area, just to tie it into the whole look of the house. But I think it also looks great here just on the carport as a little extra architectural piece that it just, makes it look cool. Adding little details like this extra curb pieces on the edge just to clean it up and make it a little more finished, or like it's meant to be like that, helps and gives it a little extra detail that I think is kind of cool. Now, originally in the build, I wasn't sure if I wanted to enclose the back of this carport area, like a floor to ceiling wall, maybe on the back with some tools or whatever. But I figured I wanted to keep this pretty clean, simple, and plain, just to keep up with the more modern look of the house. So I opted for not a full wall in the back. It just keeps it more open. We got the covered roof, just large enough to cover the cars, but also not be too big. And I think it works well and ties in with the main house. Now, initially, I know I said I wasn't going to close in this garage here, but I did feel like it needed something here in the back, which is why I opted just for like a nice clean hedge in the back, because I think that, you know, divides the space well, has somewhat of a not necessarily a wall, but like a cutoff part, you know, for the vehicles. Not that it would stop a vehicle, but, you know, it just looks nice to have something closing off this area back here. Not entirely closing it off, but like I said, just a little small barrier of some kind to give that illusion of where a wall would be. So I just think it finishes that whole area off nicely. That's all, and it looks cool. I always like adding these little pieces here. I'm not sure what it is, what mod it's from, but it's, from a bunch of, textured wallpaper type floors. This one, it's more of like a tile, a grungy, dirty tile floor, but I think it works well for, for roofing. So like on the carport here, using these white pieces, so we have a nice finished look underneath, but up top, it's not exactly gonna work to have a roof white like that. And I do want to finish it off, even though I probably can't see it from the ground. I do want to finish it off, so I use these pieces here, usually for roofing, because they're easy to put down and they're textured, so I can just add and move them around, and it really doesn't show too much that you have all different, especially when it comes to angles, corners, things like that. You can use these pretty well and cover the whole area, just to give it a tar paper roof look or darker texture, to tie it all in. Okay, that's going to do it for this episode of the Showcase Breakdown. And we got ourselves a nice looking carport here that ties into the rest of the house and serves as a parking area for a couple cars. And we will eventually get to the main garage, or the side garage, underground garage, where there's room for other cars. But as far as this one goes, we got the carport done. It ties in with the house. It looks great with the added details like the curved edging there, and surrounding it with the lawn there. The poles, the white shelving, replicating some kind of breeze block look, and of course the brown wood paneling that ties into the front gate and ties into the rest of the house. So that'll do it for the carport. That'll do it for this episode. Hope to see you at the next one. We will probably tackle the front door area and maybe some of the landscaping. So I think that will do it for this episode. We'll add this to the shelf. So thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. And until next time, keep building.